Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rooted in Rising, the podcast where we explore the experiences, beliefs, and stories that shape who we are and who we're becoming. I'm your host, Dr. Carmela Maxell, and today we're talking about something that I think many of us have experienced, but we don't always have the language for. Today's episode is called The Price of Being Pleasant. From a young age, many of us are taught to be agreeable, accommodating, understanding, patient, and easy to get along with. We're encouraged to keep the peace, avoid conflict, and make other people comfortable. While those qualities can certainly have value, there often comes a point where being pleasant begins to cost us something. Sometimes it costs us our voice. Sometimes it costs us our boundaries. Sometimes it costs us our identity. And for many women, particularly women of color, the expectation to be pleasant isn't just a suggestion. It's often treated as a requirement. Joining me for this amazing conversation is T.R. Monroe, author, educator, advocate, healer, and someone whose work has helped many people navigate questions of identity, self-worth, healing, and personal growth. T.R., welcome to Rooted in Rising. I'm so glad you're here. Tell us about where you're from, where you're at, a little bit about you.
Thank you, Dr. Max, for having me. I am born and bred North Carolina.
North
So,
Carolina.
mhm. So, but I am a mother of two,
Okay.
boy and a girl,
Oh,
and those are my heart. That's my heart. Yeah.
yeah, I get
So,
it.
and then I have I'm a daughter because I'm also a caregiver for my mom
Mhm.
and an educator. I'm a caregiver for a whole lot of students
Whole lot of people, whole lotta. Oh, wow.
to a
Okay.
point
Oh,
where it's been 28 years and I'm seeing
wow.
students that I taught who are grown now.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
amazing. That's
Mhm.
amazing. Wow. Okay. So what grades and like just kind of the whole
All of them,
spectrum?
college,
Wow.
elementary, middle, and then now high.
Whew. Wow. Wow. Thank you for what you do as, as a fellow educator. Um, I work with college and graduate students, and
Mhm.
their minds are just so amazing. It's just
And they are.
wonderful to watch them.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you once again for being here. I am so profoundly blessed to have you here with me
Thank
today.
you. Mhm.
And I know our audience is going to have a blast listening to this. Um, I want to start with a simple question. When you hear the phrase being pleasant, what comes to your mind?
Conditioning.
Mm. Hmm.
It
Hmm.
also can be manipulation
Oh, wow. Okay. So tell me more about that, because I might be picking up what you're putting down, but tell me more
because
about that.
sometimes people know that you are trying to be a people pleaser. People know, and they use that to their advantage.
Hmm. Hmm.
And to the point where if you don't do what they say, well, I thought you wanted to make me happy.
Mm.
Well, I thought you loved me. So, but we
Wow.
got to break away from that. We really do.
And
We
I'm
really
hoping
do.
that you could help me help the audience understand how we can, because
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely something in my my private practice, working
Mm-hmm.
with clients, just coaching folks over the years, and even with myself. Right, I've definitely stepped into that role, and I've experienced shame about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have definitely had to do a lot of self-reflection. Like, why do I do that? Why do I give in to make this person happy, completely surrendering my boundaries and what I want for my life? So let me ask you that. Why do people please? What's that about, and where does that come from?
Well, I think it comes from and this is my opinion.
Sure, sure.
So, but it comes from the black woman being the anchor for the
Mm.
family, for the
And
church,
yeah, in
for the
Black families.
community.
Yeah, yeah.
They had to help everybody. They had to go around, say yes and do this. Say yes, okay, I'll help you with that. Oh, that fundraiser, yeah, I'll do that.
Mhm.
And no one ever poured into them.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
And it's gone down through generations and generations because our parents didn't know any better. They thought that that was the way we're supposed to be.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
trained us up in that way. They conditioned us in that way.
Mhm,
It wasn't their fault. That was just the times.
mhm, mhm. And they passed it down to
Mhm.
us. Do you do you think that it was a form of trying to keep us safe? And I say, right now this is from the perspective of like the black family with black women being the anchor. And I think this could apply across the board, right? And we can talk more about that in generalities, but
Mhm.
were they trying to keep us safe?
They felt like they were.
Mhm,
They felt like they were keeping us safe.
mhm,
That will put us in an arena that we were able to be helpful, but we were able to also be okay with our lives.
mhm.
The only problem is this when you're doing it so much, became that people pleaser as an adult.
Ugh,
Some people can see that you are and they use it to their advantage.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
we all heard the term, I thought you loved me.
Whew, if you do this for me, it's because you love me. If you don't do this, it's because you don't love me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
or that's what people do when they show each other. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in previous relationships, or you set that boundary, and it's you should be grateful. You should be this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whole lot of shoulding.
Shoulding. Mm-hmm.
Whole lot of shoulding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh my. And so, outside of family, do you think that there are other parts of society that reinforce this, like culture and school and religion?
They all do.
Yeah.
They all do.
Yeah.
They 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 put us in a place of submission. And so that we are able to take care of the community. We're able to take care of the family. We're able to take care of the school, the church.
Ugh.
But it has to come a point because that is the quickest way to burn yourself out.
Mm, we already have
Helping
enough to
everybody
burn
else.
us out. Oh yeah.
I know that's right.
Ugh.
But that's the quickest way. And if we don't learn how to set boundaries,
Mhm,
healthy boundaries, and stick with them, that's the thing. If you set a boundary, stick with it. Because once someone sees you going to let that boundary slide a little bit,
mhm.
they
They
got
insert
you.
themselves. Yep, they
Yep.
get right up in
Hmm.
there. Yeah.
They got you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So prior to our conversation here, you and I had talked about this concept that I think has maybe been situated in many of our minds, but you put it together, and I was like, oh, we got to talk about that. So nice guy, good girl syndrome. Tell me about that. How this applies on both sides. What does this look like?
Okay. So for the nice guy,
Mm,
they were told to be helpful, to be there, to be the support, to be the safety, to provide.
mhm, mhm,
And then that way you're a good person. You're a nice guy. You are a good husband.
mm.
But the nice girl, good girl, we were told we need to be a good girl. If we help other people, we're a good girl. If we always say yes when someone needed us, we're a good girl.
Mhm.
Once we said no, we were that bad girl.
Mhm.
And nobody wanted to be categorized as the bad girl,
No.
that problem child.
No.
hmm But I mean, it works in us so strong that we carry it to our adulthood.
Mhm.
And then we wonder why we're always tired
Ugh.
because we're always pouring into everybody else.
Mhm.
What about my cup?
Mhm.
That's my theme this year. What about my cup?
I like that. My theme this year is discernment, and so
Well,
I think it sort of pours right into that. And it's so interesting. You said a couple of things that made me think. The good guy sounds amazing, but what's his problem? Like, what's the issue? Because every time I think, this is what I think women will say what they want, or how we try to raise,
hmm
our boys as the nice guy, it doesn't seem
hmm
to produce the effect that
it
is
doesn't
wanted.
produce the same effect as it does on us, but it prepares them to be that leader
Mhm,
or what they think is a leader.
mhm,
It prepares them to be controlling.
mhm,
It prepares them to make sure, and it's not, well, it is a bad thing, to make sure that you are beneath them.
the nice guy.
hmm
Huh.
I mean, and that's just how is it just depends on your upbringing
Mhm,
because I know some nice guys that are not like that. They're
mhm,
very kind, they're very sensitive, they're understanding. They's like, "Okay, do you need help?"
mhm.
I was
It's
like,
not
"Wow, somebody
it's n
somebody
it's not
asking
just
me for help?"
presentation. Like, it's not just
Yeah.
presentation. So,
Yeah.
okay, so this whole facet, I'm picking up what you're putting down, this idea that the presentation of the nice guy, like, I'm gonna go out on the limb and make it seem as if you're, um, I'm X, Y, and Z, that I'm helpful, that I'm
Mhm.
supportive, and I'm kind, but underneath all of that, there's that very sinister
That
aspect. Mm.
narcissist,
Mm.
that gaslighting.
I just had a
Mhm.
conversation about this, and,
Uh-huh.
that's interesting, right? So, in essence, the nice guy
Mhm.
will tell you he's the nice guy,
He
but
will, because he wants you to believe that.
yeah,
He
yeah,
puts that into you all the time. "Oh, I'm a nice guy.
mhm,
You need to trust me because I'm a nice guy.
mhm, mhm,
You need to let me take care of that because I'm a nice guy."
yeah, and so in pairing with
Mhm.
the girl that is good, the
Mhm.
aspect of that, though, is then she's walked all over.
Yeah. He's
Ugh,
walked all over 'em.
wow.
But that comes in where we are part of our ancestors.
Mhm,
The Black woman has always been the anchor.
mhm,
The Black woman has always been strong in the community,
mhm,
strong in education, strong in the church,
mhm.
and was always doing things for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched this growing up. My father was a minister, and I watched this growing up. Um, the expectations of just roles of people in
Mhm.
general. Um, but just in the church, how, different people presented. There was always the one that would bake something, and there was always the one that
Mhm.
was, "We'll taxi all the children around," or,
Mhm.
for Sunday school, well, this, and then the one that's dressed in, like, the large brimmed hats, and, all the presentation, but there was just something there.
Mhm.
that was much different. You find out about it, right? Because
Mhm.
people talk,
Yeah.
and
I
you
mean, it was
find out
presentation. It was
it
not
was.
substance. It
Yeah,
wasn't substance.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and to keep that image together.
Mhm.
Because I also wanna say I've definitely seen too, outside of our community, the males that are the people pleasers
Mhm.
because, society has basically said, "Well, this is what women want." Or this is, so you have to do
Mhm.
this just to get burned. And this concept is just dynamic, just so interesting
Mhm.
because I think the concept of people pleasing really for me stems from trauma.
Mhm.
Mhm,
Yeah, definitely.
mhm,
Um, I had to deal with abandonment.
mhm,
So I spent a lot of time in my life trying to deal with, are they gonna like me?
mhm,
I gotta do this so they can like me. I gotta be there for them if they can like me.
mhm.
I have to make sure I cook this. I have to do that. I want them to like me. But the thing was I didn't like myself.
Or you always felt like you had to top yourself, right? I mean,
Mhm.
so relatable, and so painful because as we're talking, I'm reflecting a lot on my own life and decisions that I've made and relationships
Mhm.
I've been in. Um, if I dressed a certain way, maybe if I anticipated their needs, which was like a moving goalpost.
Mhm.
If I wasn't too educated, or if I just continued to climb, if I made more money to support us, if
Mhm.
um, and I found myself just destroyed,
Mhm.
absolutely
I mean, it's
destroyed.
the quickest way to burn out. It
Hmm.
really is the quickest way to burn out.
What?
And that's what a lot of us females are dealing with.
Hmm.
Across the range, we
Hmm.
are dealing with burnout
Hmm.
because we
Hmm.
are pouring into everybody else,
Except for us. Except for
but
us.
not pouring into our cup, and not no one else is pouring. No one asks the strong one
Woo!
if they are
Woo!
okay. No
Oh,
one asks the strong one if they
ugh.
need help. They no What they say is, if you need help, let me know.
Puts it on us. It puts it
If
on
you see
us.
if you see what I'm doing and you see how I'm frantic, guess what? I might need help. I shouldn't
Yeah.
have to ask. Mhm.
To your point, I'm a for many people, for the people that know me that are in my very small close circle, I might spin for them, right? They'll see the signs, the nuance with me.
Mhm.
For people who don't know me, they would not be able to really tell that I'm breaking down.
Mhm.
And it's almost as if there's like we have to put forth
Got
a
mass.
yeah. Well, we're wearing that mask, but we have to put forth something recognizable in
Mhm.
order for them to feel compelled to say anything. I didn't say do anything, but say
Say
something
it.
about it.
Mhm.
Because the likelihood that people will follow through, we talk about this in psychology. We talk about the bystander effect, right?
Mhm.
How, an emergency happens and there's this assumption within a group, oh, somebody else got it. I'm I've kind of always been that person that's like, I don't assume anyone's got it. I'm going to go in
Mhm.
there. I'm going to figure it
Yeah.
out.
Oh, they don't understand. I can take care of it. Don't worry about it.
I got it. Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm. And with the 100 other things on my plate.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
You sure it ain't too much? No.
No. Yeah. You know what? You're calling me out here too. But I'm learning. I am learning
Mhm.
every single day
Mhm.
about why I do this. I mean, we want to be we want to be liked, we want to be appreciated, we want
Mhm.
for people to understand our worth
Mhm.
and what we bring to the table. And is this the way to do it? No. And at the
Mm-mm.
same time, it's what we know, right?
Mhm.
Because let's look at the other side of that, as I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. I've had many a conversation with people who have said, Dr. Maxell, or Max, as they call me in my circles. Uh, I'd love to just see you stop people pleasing for a second, or to know your own worth, or to not feel compelled to have to do everything for everybody. The same
Mhm.
people who are constantly demanding stuff are the
Mhm.
same people that are exercising that judgment. And I want to know your thoughts about that.
Mhm. I mean, they will exercise the judgment because they're not getting the full aspect of what they want.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
That's just all in that the gaslighting.
mhm,
They just want to say, okay, yeah, but I know you need help, but can you really take care of this for me?
mhm, mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, or I'll help you. I'll be down there later. I'll come and help you, and
Always
then
at a
never
cost.
show.
Oh, well, yep, there's that. Or it's always at a
Mhm.
cost, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
you get that phone call 3 months later. So you remember I helped you on January 15th? Can can never
Mhm.
get out anything.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I've actually had males to tell me, "Well, I've always been there for you, and I have helped you
mm.
out and to make sure that you were okay." I was like, "Am I supposed to give you a gold star for that? Ain't that human nature? That's what you expect from me. So why can't I expect it from you?"
Well, well,
Mhm. Mhm.
well, this brings me to another piece here, power and expectations.
Mm.
Do you think that certain groups are expected to be pleasant or more pleasant than others?
Yes. Yes. And I'm sorry, it's females of all races.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would
Mhm.
I'm with you. I think other educators,
Mhm.
um, caregivers,
Mhm.
any like people in the helping professionals,
Mhm.
in the helping profession, sorry. Um,
Mhm.
anyone tied to service,
Mhm.
right? It's funny because they'll say, "Well, I I've never been one to pull punches." And so I people have say, "You came off a little strong." I said, "Yeah, I said what I said, right? I said what I
That's right.
said, and I said
That's
what I
right.
meant."
Mhm.
And that's a cultural piece, and I'm
Mhm.
sorry if you don't like it. Um,
Mhm.
but you could say the same exact thing to me, and somehow I'm supposed to swallow that pill.
Mhm.
So I just find it very interesting that, the way that I might come across, or the way that we may come across, is
Mhm.
is seen in such a bad light, right? But people will then tie it to uh, my position in mental health. "Well, aren't you a mental health
Mhm.
professional? How can you be so mean?"
Mhm.
I'm like, "I'm having a conversation with you, and I'm not a mental health professional right this second. I'm having a conversation with you." Like,
Mhm.
hold on.
Yeah.
That's not the only hat that I wear.
I'm not on the clock.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah. Now, if you wanna
Yeah.
go on the clock, let's go ahead and start compensating for that
Right?
time.
Right? Yeah. Why do you think that these groups that we just mentioned, so let's start with what you said, women across the board. What
Mhm.
is it about what society may or may not have placed on women, what's happening in current state, just in general, if we remove for this portion of the conversation the color line,
Mhm.
what is it about women that makes it that we are expected to be more pleasant, whatever the hell
Mhm.
that means. You know?
Mhm. For the longest, women have been told that they need to dress a certain way. They need to act a certain way. They need to be able to do certain skills in order to get a husband.
Mm. Oh,
A
okay.
long time ago, women were told that, and they've passed it down to their child. Yeah, you got to be able to do this. You got to wear this. You got to do this. This is the way you got to act. You got to act like a lady. And it followed us.
Mhm,
It followed us
mhm,
all the way to where we at now.
mhm.
We feel like we have to fit in that small box. Everything that we are. The only problem is when you start setting boundaries, that box doesn't fit.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Mhm,
I'm thrown back to parts of my childhood that when I think about them now as
mhm,
an adult are just very I just sort of cringe at that.
mhm,
What it meant to be a lady, right?
mhm.
Um, First of all, I'll say I'm a foodie. I love food.
Yes.
Right? And I think food is such a cultural like, there's such a cultural tie. It's such a human thing,
Mhm,
right? Food brings us together, and
mhm.
I feel like and I may make a lot of people mad, but with Black folk, we will use any excuse to get together and have some food, and I love
And
that
that's
for
right.
us. I
That is
love that
right.
for us, right?
Mhm,
And on my Filipino side, we do the same exact thing, so it's a double whammy. So I'm just
mhm,
I used to work with someone, who said, "You know what? I love to bring food and celebrate on any day ending in Y."
mhm.
So every day she's like, "Yep,
Every day, every
every
day.
day,"
Mhm.
right? But
Even the Hispanics, they always
oh,
come up with something. They have everybody over there.
love this, right? But
Yes.
I also remember growing up having to learn which fork to use for what. And
Yes.
so, that you take if you're wearing a dress, you would take your
Take
serviette
that napkin.
and you put it in
Mhm,
your lap, right?
mhm,
And you don't sit there and eat like a beast. And
mhm,
and you know what? Small bites and you cut up your
mhm.
food. Now, see, this is also why uh this is also why I'm single, right? So in my own house, I'm like, nope, just sitting here eating and doing my thing. But just those things carried over, or even um I remember I would hear men growing up telling little girls or young women, which in my mind I think is appropriate for several reasons, but just cross your legs, right? Right? Or yeah, or you wear your hair down. Don't cut your hair. That was a big thing. Men, men love women with long hair. Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, long hair. And
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
daughter also, she had hair down her back to her butt. But when
Mhm.
we cut our hair, does that make us less feminine?
I don't think it
I
does, because
believe
I'll tell
so.
you, I've had every cut under the sun. I've had a buzz cut.
Mhm,
My hair has been down under my butt, and then I cut th 3 or 4 inches 5 inches, I think,
mhm,
earlier, this year,
mhm.
and I don't think that the length of your hair determines your level of
Yeah.
femininity. We are women because
Mhm.
and, I just like on the opposite end, men that have long hair, I don't think that that makes them less
That's
masculine.
right.
Like, let's stop.
Mhm.
Let's stop
Yeah.
that. Um, but well, we have been bred, I think we have to learn look a certain
Look
way,
a
right?
certain
Like
way.
to right, like, rouge our lips and to
Mhm,
wear blush and
mhm,
or wear hats, wear skirts. I
mhm.
remember just hearing uh well, why are you wearing pants? What like wouldn't you feel better in a skirt? I'm like, okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I just remember growing up looking at the different magazines and be like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I wanna be like her," and taking the little perfume thing, the little sample and putting it on my wrist, that little piece of paper.
I still do that, can I not lie? Um, I yeah, I remember you rip open that adhesive and you're
Mhm.
sitting there just
But my thing
Uh-huh.
is that we saw it in everything that was around us, that this was
Mhm,
what a woman
mhm.
need to look like. This is what
Yep.
needs to be done. This is how she needs to act. And
Mhm,
if not,
mhm.
then I don't know why they call it. You're that cat lady that nobody wants to be around. Shoot, I love
I'm
cats.
cool with
I
that.
love it.
I love cats too. Yeah, I don't even know where mine is. She usually floats around
Mhm.
by now. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm. Yeah. Somebody
Yeah.
call me that. I'm like, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, what's that saying though? If you don't have haters, you're not doing it right.
That's right.
Right? Yeah.
Mm.
And I think it becomes a really hard lesson to being pleasant.
Mhm.
Um, what have you experienced with this, both personally, professionally, what have you? Once the nice girl or the good girl has gone bad, and it's so funny, right? Because as we juxtapose these two things, the nice guy is not really the nice guy, but the good girl is also not
Yeah.
the good girl,
Mhm.
right? So when she decides to go bad, she's not bad. She's just finally
Okay.
standing up for herself.
Yeah.
When and when the bad guy, you know, um, I think it's just we need to take some time to get to know who this man is and
Mhm.
what he brings to the table on both sides. But
Mhm.
what happens when the people pleasers? And I can tell you, I'm already just there's a lot of just trepidation in this when they become direct, when they establish boundaries,
Mhm.
when they start advocating for themselves,
Mhm.
when they refuse to shrink.
Mhm.
What labels do they get outside of angry black woman, bitch, slut?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Or
and
you
there's no
you
way.
think you're better than everybody?
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm, mhm,
Mhm. So, I mean, all kinds of labels that come on us when we decide to care and love ourselves, to let our voice be heard. I mean, we have been the backbone of things for a long time. Now, we at the point where we want to be heard. We
mhm,
want to be understood,
mhm,
not just put on the shelf as a little trinket. That's
mhm,
that's my perfect wife. That's my Stepford wife. No,
mhm, mhm,
we don't want that.
mhm.
We want to be heard. We want to be able to literally know who we are and love ourselves. Because the other side of
I
that is not knowing your identity. You're wrapped up in
mm.
everything else you do and not loving
So
yourself.
it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable no matter what
That's
then.
right. It really is. It really
Hmm.
is.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I'm at the point now that if I gotta be the villain in your story for me to have peace, I will be that villain. Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go ahead
Mhm.
and call me the
Mhm.
bitch. Go ahead and call me whatever. But I'm gonna have my peace.
Yes.
Hmm.
There is no replacement for peace,
Hmm.
and I have learned this lesson time and time again. I keep coming back to this theme, right? Of I said in the beginning, nobody likes feeling uncomfortable, which is why
Hmm.
we have our
That's
vices,
right.
right? Which is why we stay in that relationship, which is
Hmm.
why we continue.
Hmm.
I don't want to get into an argument with this person
That's
today.
right.
I'm just going to go ahead and smile and keep it
Keep
going.
going.
I don't You know what? I'm going to avoid driving down this street. I just don't even want to ruffle feathers today.
Hmm.
I'm not even going to wear that. People are going to ask too many questions.
Hmm.
But I think what's more uncomfortable
Hmm.
is not living a life of authenticity.
That's right. Not having that honesty, not knowing. It's like, yes, this is me, like it or not.
Mhm,
Yes, that circle gonna get smaller. That just means they wasn't there for the ride. They were
mhm,
there for what they can get.
mhm, mhm.
So we just have to stand for ourselves.
Yes. Well, let's talk about that because I'm sure that there are going to be many people in the audience that are asking, okay, but TR, I've heard you, Dr. Maxwell, I've heard you, and this all sounds great
Mhm.
and very ideal, right? But how do we say no? How do we reclaim who we are? Or if we're not trying to reclaim that,
Mhm.
how do we rebrand? How do we say no? How do we establish boundaries? And most of all, how do we trust ourselves?
Mhm. And that comes with getting help. There is
Mm,
nothing, there's not a negative stigma to going to see a psychiatrist, going to see a counselor, having that
mhm,
person that doesn't know too much about you, and
mm,
you're able to bounce all these feelings off of them, and they will get you to the point where they're organized and you know this feeling, you're standing on that feeling, you're already over that feeling. So, I mean,
mhm,
getting help, it's nothing wrong with it at
mhm,
all for men and women.
mhm,
And I really think men need
mhm,
it too.
mhm,
Hmm.
mhm. And I think too, you know, we also need to stop our judgment about men seeking help,
Hmm.
right? We can't sit there and say we want the truly nice guy
Hmm.
or we want the one that actually gives us what we need
Hmm.
and then also shame him when he does go to therapy
Hmm.
or when he does build that support
Hmm.
system or when he cries or has any type of
Hmm.
emotion. Um, we I think as women too, we can empower our
That's
men,
right. That is right.
and this is it across the
Mhm,
board. And I think, in many ways too, you know, men can empower women
mhm.
by going and getting that help.
That's right.
We all need
We
support.
all need
We all
support.
need support.
Mhm. We all need
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people do couple therapy, which is good
Mhm,
for your
mhm,
relationship. But I also
mhm.
think that both of them should have individual therapy too.
Yep. I actually I co-sign on that. I tell any couples or families that I work with, uh the couples session
Mhm,
is wonderful
mhm,
when you're working as that unit,
mhm.
but there's still some individual fires you got to put
That's
out
right.
that you got to work
Mhm,
through. There has to be some self-rescue
mhm,
that happens. And so I 100% endorse that. And now with the level of accessibility, and I continue to say this
mhm,
across the board, uh, we have apps now, right, where people can meet with folks virtually.
mhm,
Uh, there's still brick and mortar
mhm.
places where people have offices and you can go in there.
Yes.
There's websites where you can find that support for people of color. You can find people of
Color.
color, people that you trust,
Mhm,
or feel like you can work with.
mhm,
There are so many avenues and arenas
mhm.
to get that support
Support. Mhm,
that I just don't think
mhm.
it's an excuse.
Mm-mm. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
Mhm,
We got to get
mhm,
to the point that we're not using excuses anymore. We don't have
mhm,
time for excuses. We're trying to
mhm,
build our life.
mhm,
Excuses do nothing but hold you back.
mhm,
And you don't want to be held back. You want to keep growing. The thing about it, I mean, even God says that He gonna prune the tree, the
mhm,
fruit,
mhm.
because He wants to take away the dead things that's off of it.
The dead things, yeah,
Because
because
that,
it festers, it'll
yes,
spread.
it is spread. And that does not grow, die.
Yes.
And that's the same with us. Why you think they call the Dead Sea the Dead Sea? It's just there. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Well,
have a lot of circulation, a lot of flow in it. And that way
mhm,
things just stay there and it gets stagnant.
mhm,
And
mhm.
we don't want our lives to be stagnant.
Well, my hope for people is that they don't want a stagnant
Mhm,
life. But, we talk about getting that help,
mhm,
setting those
mhm.
boundaries. I also think uh, Google helps, right? Instead of doom scrolling, you can definitely sit there and research some of the detrimental effects of being a people pleaser
Yes,
and pleasing. And your mental health, I think, takes a huge dip, but your physical health, which is tied to your mental health.
it will. It will.
Yeah, because talk to me
Mhm,
about people that you know or your own experiences where they've people pleasing. They've done the most, done too
mhm,
much, and you start to just see them age.
mhm,
You start to see them fall apart,
mhm,
weight fluctuating, not eating, hair falling out.
mhm,
That was this woman
mhm,
right
mhm,
here, not taking care of
mhm.
myself and expecting to still show up for everybody and people still holding their hands out like, "Hey, hey,
Gimme, gimme, gimme.
gimme, gimme."
Mhm,
Yeah. Tell me about your experiences there, because that's so devastating.
mhm,
And I want people to know and see themselves in this.
mhm. Being a people pleaser and always wanting things to be right and people to approve it and people to appreciate what I'm doing, um, it came real stressful to the point where I didn't know why I was that stressed, but I ended up having to have 2 brain surgeries
Oh my.
because of stress. It
Wow.
was called trigeminal neuralgia, and they had to go in this side of my head and this side of my head
Oh
on 2
my.
totally different occasions. So, I didn't learn my lesson the first time. That's
Mm,
all that was.
mm,
Mhm.
mm.
But it always takes
Wow.
we'll keep giving and giving and giving until we don't.
Yeah.
Until something happens that breaks that camel's back.
Mhm.
Me, it was a trauma.
Yeah.
It was to the point where I really had to take a time and self-evaluate myself.
Yeah.
Honestly. Honestly.
Mhm.
Because for some reason I was always getting about the same kind of guy. And they
Oh.
always treated me the same way.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I knew I deserved more.
But it's hard to attain, right?
Yeah.
I tell people, I believe in energy work,
Mhm.
and when we vibrate low, what we attract tends to be
Hello.
low.
Mhm.
And that's in all aspects of life,
Mhm.
not just relationships. Um, but we vibrate high. You think of the ladder,
Mhm.
and I've talked about this in an episode where, um, the higher you climb on a ladder, the less stable
Yeah.
it is. So when you vibrate high, you're not meant to take everybody with you.
Mm-mm. You're not. You're not. Mm-mm.
But
Everybody is there
yeah.
for a season, and that might not be their season. It's
Mhm.
time for you to grow. Go through this
Right.
season.
Right.
Yes. I mean, I lost a lot of things in my last traumatic event.
Mhm.
But I also found myself
Mm.
and was able to, because I like to write, able to
Mhm.
use my journals and just go back and reflect on them.
Yeah.
Dag, I was that bad? Wow. What in the world was I doing? What was I thinking? Why was I putting my self-worth down
Mhm.
for someone else
Yeah.
just so I can get their approval?
Someone who wasn't worth it
Mm-mm.
that you didn't.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Mhm. It
Mhm.
really wasn't.
Mhm.
And when I stopped doing that, oh my goodness, the peace, the joy.
But let's be real for a second. Did the peace come immediately? And I like to warn people because for me, the peace did not come quickly. There was some shedding. There were some things.
That you gotta get off.
It was almost rougher. It was almost rougher
Mhm.
right before my peace came.
Mhm. Mhm. There's always a heavy storm before the calm. Always. I was at a point where I had to get group help.
Mhm.
I had to have medicine. I like medicine.
Mhm.
So, but it was needed to help me be able to calm down and focus on what was important for me. Me.
Right.
Me and mine. Me and my 2 kids. Me and my mama.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'm sorry, there are some parents there that you might have to set those
Yep.
boundaries too. As
That is
an
a big
adult.
one, setting
As an
as an
adult,
adult.
you have to set the
Yep.
boundaries too,
Yep.
because you're not that
Yep.
child anymore.
No.
You're not
No.
dependent.
Yep.
You're trying to grow. You're helping them. They help you.
Yep.
I mean, it's that part of that unconditional love.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
It's nothing like people that have watched you grow and feel responsible for your growth.
Mhm.
I have definitely experienced with family members, friends, exes,
Mhm.
this idea that, well, you were like this before, and this is the
Mhm.
reason, this you don't want to fall into that trap
Mhm.
again, or
That's
da
right.
da da da.
Mhm.
And you got to separate yourself from
You
that,
do.
right? No, no is a complete
Yes, it
sentence.
is.
Uh, eh, this idea, especially as an adult, you don't owe anyone anything, right? I think
Um,
outside of kindness, I always
mhm.
believe in being kind. We do
Yes.
owe
Yes.
kindness. Kindness does not mean that you get to mess over me.
Mhm.
Kindness means that you lead from a place
Mhm.
that is spiritually driven
Driven. Yes.
and
Yes.
inspired, right? So I have had to set
Mhm.
some boundaries,
Mhm.
which means that I'm not picking up my phone for you all the
Mhm.
time, right? Or you're not about to find out what's going on in my
Mhm.
life. And I think that's important, for people to know.
Mhm.
Peace doesn't just come. I have seen it come easier for some than others,
Mhm.
but that as soon as you put those boundaries in place, be prepared to be tested
Test it.
on those boundaries that you set.
Yes. Because you have to be consistent with your boundaries. You want somebody to be
Hmm.
consistent with you? Yes. You have to be consistent with yourself.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
once they see
Hmm.
that that boundary is negotiable, that
Hmm.
boundary is going to be gone.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they're gonna take it and run with it.
And the ways in which, uh, you know, I think so many people, this will probably resonate with so many people. I've worked with kids and clients, with kids that have been abandoned or hurt
Mhm.
and are just trying to find their way
Mhm.
and, wanting to please their parents.
Mhm.
Um, I've had to have the conversation with them. That's like, hey, I know that you want this love.
Mhm.
You have this expectation about who this person is to you, a mother, a father, an aunt, an
Mhm.
uncle, brother, cousin, what have you. Just because they have the designation doesn't mean that they live up to the job responsibilities.
Yes.
Eh, and we really have to. I think we as Black women,
Mhm.
as the Black community, and then people in general, we do have an obligation to one another
Mhm.
to check on our strongest
Mhm.
warriors, to lift up our
Mhm.
weakest, um, and to educate. And I think that there is a lot of brokenness right now,
Mhm.
and I have seen people pleasing and being pleasant in many situations now because of the state of the world
Mhm.
as a way to just protect ours.
Mhm. Yes. People pleasing is nothing but a means of control.
Mhm.
And the only one that needs to have control over you is God and yourself.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I had an amazing time with you today. And I also want to make sure that people are aware of your books and how they can heal. So I want to give you some time to talk about your writing and where they can find you. TR Monroe's information is going to be available in the show notes, everybody. And on my website, http://carmelamaxell.com. But tell us a bit about your work, any projects you're working on that you want to share, uh, please.
My project that I've just completed it's a series of 3 books called Healing and Freedom. The
Mm,
first book, We Still Rise, is a journal about betrayal,
mm,
loss, and becoming.
mm, mm,
Because we got to lose some things in order to be who he wanted us to be. And I mean he,
yeah,
not
yes.
them.
Mhm, mhm,
Then we go to the next step, which is Beyond the Good, which looks at the
mm,
scientific facts and stuff about the good girl syndrome. And it
mhm,
also talks about how to set on your emotions,
mhm, mhm,
how to be honest about this is the way I feel.
mhm,
Ladies, it's time to
mhm.
put down that mask. The only time we need a mask is when we go to a masquerade ball.
There are very few. I've been looking.
Hmm. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's it. But these both are journals. So I
Mhm,
have guided prompts in them to give you a deeper dive into your emotions. And it's
mhm,
something that, just like my journals, it's something that you can look on later
mhm,
and be like, okay,
mhm.
why did I do this? How did I
Yeah.
do it like that?
Mhm.
Because you gotta learn.
Yeah. And you gotta document, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't document it, we don't I I don't know, this is a silly example, but, um, my my best friend cracks me up every time I go into the grocery store, which is now why I get all my groceries online. And I'll go in there, and I am notorious for coming back, and then I have 5 bags of onions in my house. "Why did I do that?" She's like, "Where's your grocery list?" And I'm like, "I remembered it in my head."
No.
Obviously not.
Mhm. Not.
Right? And so if you don't write it down, or if you don't, you could commit all this to memory, but
Mm-hmm.
we are also poor historians.
Mm-hmm.
And so journaling is so wonderful. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that it has guided prompts,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is fantastic
Mm-hmm.
and is a great way for people to not have to think. It's not just your regular
Mm-hmm.
line journal. Where can they order your books?
Oh, I got one more.
Because oh yes,
The
please.
third book is F Cube, the symbol, math symbol,
Oh yeah.
and it stands
Uh-huh.
for faith, feeling, and freedom. And
Ooh,
this
faith,
one
feeling, and
is a
freedom.
52-week prayer journal, which
Wow.
gives
Okay.
you weekly scripture. Then you got a insight, which goes a lot off my testimony of what I've experienced or what I
Mhm.
know others have experienced. Then it gives you an unfiltered prayer,
Mhm.
and it also provides you with a song that relates to the scripture of that week.
Oh, I love that.
Then you have
I
your
love
deep
that.
dive that you can just get into it.
Yeah.
The good thing about those songs is that I put them all together on a playlist on Spotify. And if you got the book, the QR code to
Okay.
it is there.
That's so
Hmm
cool. Okay. All right.
hmm So, but
Okay.
all
Okay.
my books are available. They are on Amazon, but they're
Mhm.
also on TR Monroe books.com. Mm-hmm.
trmonroebooks.com. The link is going to be in the show
Mm-hmm.
notes. And TR Monroe will also be featured in my featured voices on my website so that you
Mm-hmm.
have multiple ways of getting
Mm-hmm.
there. Get on
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, get copies of these
Yeah.
books.
And the good thing about getting it
S-
from my website is that it comes from me and I autograph
mhm.
every single one of them.
Get you an autographed copy. Go ahead and get you an autographed copy. I love this. I love this with everything in me. Well, Tiara, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you
I
for
have
having me.
learned so this has been a blessing. I can't even tell you. I am so just profoundly in awe of your resilience, just your wonder, everything that you're putting out. And I can't wait, for the commentary for people to learn and to heal and
Mm-hmm.
to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because my
Yeah.
next project is going to be a virtual discussion
Okay.
getting into those deep dives that are in the book.
Okay. Okay.
Having that
Okay.
surrounding you hearing other people like they're going through the same thing I'm going through.
That's what we
Wow.
need, more
Mhm.
relatability. People to hear
Yeah.
that. People need to hear that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's my
Yeah.
next project right now.
Will you keep us posted? I will ensure that I showcase all that. I want to do nothing but build us up
Yes,
and
ma'am.
continue to help us heal.
Thank you.
Um, yes, absolutely. Thank you. And if today's conversation resonated with you, I hope you'll remember this, everybody. Growth begins when we stop abandoning ourselves for the comfort of
Mhm.
others. The The goal isn't to become hard or cold or unkind. It's to be honest enough with your own needs
Mhm.
while still extending compassion to other people.
Yes.
Until next time, stay rooted in who you are and keep rising towards who you're becoming. Take care.